This is the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Welcome, listeners. Speak Up Effective Communication is the show on the Aftermarket Radio Network aimed at helping you communicate more effectively. And in this particular case, we're talking about communication in a slow spell, especially our digital communication in a slow spell. I'm your host, Craig O'Neill, and today's topic is one I care about because a lot of times when we start communicating digitally in a moment of need, the thing we're confronted with is an opt-out. Slow spells aren't much fun, and I know what you're thinking. Slow spells. Slow. Yes, I know. Auto repair shops have been booming since at least the late part of 2020. We haven't seen a period of protracted slow spells in quite some time, but things have been good enough now for long enough that some have forgotten, and some newcomers to this industry have never known. The real normal, the true normal, that some of us who've been in the industry for a long time have become well too familiar with, is the reality of feast or famine. What do we mean by this? Feast, in busy times, it's a feast. And of course, yes, in slow times, it's a famine. And it can sometimes creep in rather slowly. It's easy to be in denial until you're confronted with it. Before we go further, let's hear a word from our sponsors, all of whom have worthy insights on this topic, by the way, and all of whom make this episode possible. Stop stressing over your business. You deserve a good night's sleep. The Institute's coaching helps you achieve success and financial peace. Learn more at wearetheinstitute.com/business-assessment. Your partner in technology, AutoFlow is able to enhance your client interactions before, during, and after the visit from a single thread. To see how AutoFlow makes it simple, visit AutoFlow.com. Are you tired of juggling multiple tools to manage your auto repair shop? Say goodbye to the chaos and hello to streamlined efficiency with AutoLeap, the #1 all-in-one auto repair shop management software. With AutoLeap, you can sell more, save precious time, and delight your customers with every interaction. Your trusted companion, ShopDog Marketing, is right by your side, attracting the best customers and building long-term growth. Call ShopDog Marketing today, or visit shopdogmarketing.com. Cover your communication need and revolutionize your auto repair business with AI-driven call analytics from Inbound. Explore more at callinbound.com. We're talking about digital communication in a slow spell, and we get it. A lot of you haven't seen a slow spell in a while, and maybe this is not the picture you're seeing for yourself yet. But let me paint you a picture of how it has crept in. And I have seen this in my own experience in our shop. You're the busy shop. Normally, you're a week or two out on your schedule. Your reputation is great. Your team, also great. Things slow down a little, but it's not too slow that you would seemingly have to worry about it. It's even nice to catch your breath just a little bit after how busy it's been. But then you notice the next week it looks really quite light, and you've nearly finished all the work presently in the shop. More will come in over the weekend, you figure. And as you head out the door, you assure yourself it always comes back around. At home, you feel preoccupied and you're aware of the struggle to be present with the family at multiple times over the weekend. Your wife notices your preoccupation and asks you if everything's okay. Yeah, you say. You shrug it off. It's just a little slow, you tell her. You offer a reason. It's deer hunting season. You tell her, don't worry about it. But you are worried about it and you don't sleep great. Well, Monday morning comes around and you head out with optimism. You wake up and you can pull your spirits back up again. But after all, in your commute, there's so many cars on the road. They all break down eventually. Then you roll into the shop and you see an empty parking lot and worried expressions on the face of each of your staff members. What do you do? Look, an empty parking lot is certainly a catalyst to revisit your marketing strategy. And as we'll explore here, it is also a catalyst to review our outgoing communications by our CRM. A common and arguably necessary tool in our digital communication toolbox is our CRMs. But I'm going to make a statement here. I don't ever claim to be a marketing expert. I actually prefer to point to several friends and colleagues in this industry who are. I'm passionate more about relationships, communication, and general technology. And our Speak Up listeners certainly recognize that here in the aftermarket, we are all in the relationship, communication, and business. So when confronted with a slow spell, I've noticed that there are two communication behaviors that I see most commonly when businesses hit a situation like I described. So this episode will focus on that. The first behavior is this. Number one is to go online where all of our other friends and shop owners are on Facebook or social media groups, and we ask them if they're seeing a similar trend. This is a questionable place for you to do research on a slow spell, mind you, as a lot of people online paint a prettier picture of their circumstances than their reality would actually permit. So be careful with this, and looking for that affirmation is tough. Not always a great approach. Now, the second thing that I see, and the most common thing I see shops do, is gravitate towards their CRM platform, which they hadn't touched for quite some time, and they send out a slow day text blast. It's this second item that is the focus for today. We'll talk about social media engagement more later on, but real quick, I do have to say, like the former item, speaking online with other shops, that's healthy. And sure, you're going to garner some form of sympathy, encouragement, probably even some decent suggestions, hopefully vetted out and not just other bad practices that they're suggesting just because they do them as well. But don't get caught in the trap of feeling like there is nothing you can do just because others are having the same problem. A lot of times I feel like that's what people are fishing for, and they're just waiting for that, oh, it'll come back around moment. If you're faced with this, you should first and foremost definitely hire a marketing professional, and you should definitely seek advice from genuine experts or your business coach. That's what you should be doing. But let's go back to slow day text blasts. Now, slow day text blasts are often cited as being effective. The actual impact, however, is varied and is typically met with far more opt-outs than new appointments. So done frequently, you can even risk doing harm to your long-term strategies and in some cases expose your shop to the real risk of lawsuits. Now, that said, opt-outs are telling you something, and that's what I want to focus on here. Let's set the stage a little bit. Slow day is upon you. You haven't seen this in a while. You sit down, you send a text blast, and you watch for the responses to trickle in. But your heart sinks as you receive 1, 2, 3 dozens of opt-outs. An opt-out, of course, is the term used for when a client types the word stop. And I think it's worth explaining what that actually means a second. After typing stop, their number is now blacklisted from receiving text from your marketing number unless they actually go and type the word start. And to do that, you would need to spend time talking to them and convincing them to type the word start to your shop marketing number. And when they've opted out, it seems they are probably not interested in talking to you at this time. So a question I get is this: how can I opt someone back in? Well, you can't. This happens at the carrier, or also known as the aggregator level, and it's the client's only mechanism of control to block unwanted messages and solicitations. Now, if you're like me, an opt-out message you're sending, if you're honest, it kind of hurts your feelings a little bit. After all, why wouldn't this person be interested in hearing from you? You're awesome. Your team is awesome too, and I'm sure you would do an awesome job getting their car in for service right away this week. So I want you to understand this. Opt-outs suck, but in certain context, it's a good thing. Yeah, the client is telling you how they want to communicate with you. It's probable that you haven't been having that conversation if this is how they have to tell you. That's good. We can make a correction for that. Okay, when you receive an opt-out, that is the client telling you something very important. Opt-outs are your clients telling you that you are not discussing what matters to them. This means you haven't done the work to help them understand the benefits of this particular method of communication and how it can serve them. In other words, they were never opted in the first place. And this was an unwanted message. Speak Up listeners will have heard this before, and I will say this again. The thing most people are interested in talking about is themselves, or at least what matters to them. I'm going to ask this question: who is your slow day blast for, really? It's for you. And everyone on the receiving end knows it. You're thinking, I have friends who swear these slow day blasts make bank and salvage a bad week, and I just need to focus on the content of my message to get the same results. Now, I've learned this over the years. No one cares about the content of your message until they know how much you care. So your friend who has an effective text campaign has likely cultivated a list and has done the work of communicating with some form of regularity on relevant topics to the individuals and has earned the influence that makes that blast effective for them. So instead of lingering on this question, I see people make assumptions that the content of their message is the culprit. That's what's generating opt-outs, and that's what they need to spend their time and energy fixing right now. If they can make it sound like the message others are using, then it will work for them. I think that's a strange assumption to make. And assumptions, by the way, are a topic we've discussed on the program. We've done this with Cecil Bullard. Check out Speak Up episode 7 on that. And in this case, I want to refocus on this term a little more on our digital communication too. So the topic on assumptions with Cecil, very powerful, not aimed necessarily at digital communications, but the topic of assumptions worth discussing. Imagine taking on each day with a team that cares about doing more. They're motivated, skilled, humble, and hungry. They're invested in your shop's success because that success helps them do more than just sell jobs and fix cars. At the Institute, we believe a thriving business is built on its people. Our comprehensive coaching and peer groups help you become a leader who is capable of inspiring your employees to reach new heights, capable to deliver exceptional customer service, and capable to grow your business into a respected pillar of your community. Start your legacy at wearetheinstitute.com/business-assessment. It's time for today's Suck Less Spotlight from AutoFlow. Today's spotlight is on advisor eye twitches. Listen, clients like to stay informed throughout the repair process, and studies indicate clients are most satisfied receiving text updates versus phone calls. But call you they will, interrupting everything from estimating to quality conversations and your game of solitaire. That is, unless you text them first using AutoFlow. With AutoFlow's automated text updates, your phone only rings for the right reasons. That way, with less phone interruptions, your eye twitch will definitely suck less. For this and more things that could suck less, visit AutoFlow.com. Say goodbye to the chaos and hello to streamlined efficiency with AutoLeap, the #1 all-in-one auto repair shop management software. No more headaches, no more wasted hours, just smooth operations and happy customers. But hey, don't take our word for it. Experience the magic for yourself. So what are you waiting for? Head over to AutoLeap.com and book a demo today. Let AutoLeap revolutionize the way you do business. Do it all with AutoLeap. AutoLeap, where efficiency meets excellence. AutoLeap is by your side every step of the way. Ready to boost your auto repair shop's success? ShopDog Marketing is here to help you. We put customers first using AI to create standout content that ranks. Harness the power of mobile first and voice search and let our expert team help you sweeten your revenue with more car count. ShopDog Marketing offers a free guide on using AI to drive more repair orders. Get your guide today and watch your auto repair shop thrive. Visit shopdogmarketing.com. Every professional auto repair shop needs a trusted communication partner. At Inbound, our established VoIP platform is backed by years of industry experience, guarantees reliable connections, and is combined with cutting-edge AI-powered analytics. We deliver actionable insights that support your business growth. With Inbound, you get more than just calls. You get a smarter, more efficient operation. Get Inbound on your team today and see how we can transform your business. Visit callinbound.com. There's another thing I want to recommend. I want you to check out the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age. It's a bit of a more modern follow-up for the older book, of course, which our listeners are also very familiar with. In Chapter 5 of How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age, Chapter 5 is titled, Discuss What Matters to Them. I'm going to quote here, straight from the book. I'm quoting, "When it comes to mattering to others, you must discuss what matters to them. Assume all else will fall on deaf, or in this case, dull ears." Still quoting, This is an interesting principle to consider given the spirit in which the vast majority of people communicate today. Most messages are primarily meant to educate others about our lives or our products, to reveal compelling portions of ourselves we think others would be attracted to. Still quoting. While this appears to be an assertive strategy, it is actually a passive strategy in that it requires others to connect with us. The trouble is, that's marketing monologue, not relational dialogue. It's assumption, not assimilation. When assumption guides our efforts to befriend or influence others, the results end up on the wrong side of memorable. So I was quoting from How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age, Chapter 5. Now, this book is a gem. I do think it will help you understand your ability to influence is not about you. So one of our goals on Speak Up is to cultivate a community. People typically call these an audience in their CRM. I really do believe we should rename audiences and CRM platforms communities, and that would perhaps inform our message dialogue a little bit different. But marketing dialogue is where we're at. This is not relational dialogue. You hear that? I often ask people what CRM stands for. The answers I hear from our industry most commonly is customer retention marketing. CRM in most other industries is recognized as customer relationship management. The distinction is clear, folks. And if you're with me on this, you're going to recognize that the hurt feelings behind opt-outs are perhaps a perfectly rational response. After all, as in this context, the customer is opting out of a relationship with you. I want to quote from the book once again here, How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age. It's on the page 81 in the digital version. Often forgotten is the long-term plan. Businesses call it a customer retention strategy, but it is best thought of as a lively, meaningful dialogue among a community of friends. If the foundation of all long-term success is the establishment of trust-based relationships, then the goal of all interactions should be to convey value as soon and as often as possible. There are common hurdles to overcome. End quote. Now, I feel the Carnegie Associates are correct. The question for the aftermarket then, the question I'll raise right here, are what types of hurdles in our shops must we overcome to improve our digital communications and maybe receive less opt-outs as a result? I'm going to give you 5 of the hurdles that I see. The top 5 are here. Number 1, we're not communicating to people on what matters to them. Most shops use a CRM to send out reminders about the things the client declined on their previous visit or attempt to entice clients back to the shop after they haven't been in for a while. In other cases, we see shops recognize that a sales marketing approach to text or email is not working and that perhaps educating their clients about things related to their vehicle maintenance may be more effective. Something less salesy, something more informational. Surely that'll work better to get the results I want. Well, while several people may appreciate that, once again, we're falling into the trap of communicating on things we feel are important and beneficial and projecting ourselves as a subject matter expert. Again, think back to that first quote from the book I mentioned. This is a passive approach, once again, and the client is the one burdened now to connect with you. So again, number 1, we're not communicating to people on what matters to them. So number 2 is this. We are not cultivating a community. I see shops create audiences and segments, and we call lists of people those things. But this is merely a list of people we're hoping to our message will stick to. As community members, a member of a community understands the value of being a member, and there is regular interaction, not spontaneous outreach when the shop suddenly has time because now it's slow. A community is constantly in touch and wants to be. Now, I consider my friend Jeremy Glasgow from Appfield an expert on this topic, and we'll tackle better ways to communicate the value of membership in our community in a future episode with him. In the meantime, you can check out my conversation with Jeremy and Speak Up episode 6. Jeremy's a cool dude. Lots to unpack to address that hurdle. We can't address them all today, folks. I just need to identify them as I see them first. And number 3 is this. We are not gaining an opt-in for the purpose we seek in that slow day scenario, especially. There is a very healthy conversation that must take place for a slow day scenario message to matter. Been on several lists for people that can generate an opening because of a failed appointment. be it a doctor's appointment or anything, when you get on that cancellation list, perhaps, that's a great thing that you can do. And any business can see a slow day. So you don't need to even call it that. You can call it immediate opening list. I think that's a great alternative to this. And you can even ask your clients if they would like to be added to that list. In fact, I'm imploring you to make sure you ask your clients to be added to that list. Now, another suggestion here, and we're going a little bit into suggestions on this point at least, let them know when they add themselves to that list, if vehicle delivery can be done for them for added convenience. If you're slow, you've got the time. Most likely, if you're hitting that list, you're probably going to want to add some sense of value to this. The point is, if they've asked to be added this type of message, then you can bet they're happy to receive the message if you've shown that there will be a potential value for it. So don't just send these types of messages to your entire client base, which is a common mistake for people making slow day blasts. Please don't send slow day blasts to your entire client list. There is good reason for that in hurdle number 4. Hurdle number 4 is this: mass blasts without express written permission are against the law. I'm not a legal expert, but I can tell you this. Every text that you send that encourages an action is considered a promotional text, and this requires express written consent. That means they have to either sign a form about this communication or check a box in an online form that clearly states that message rates may apply and some other items. But this can't be a subnote in your general disclaimer on your invoice or some other thing, folks. And that's the key thing. I want you to think of your doctor's appointment that you've most recently been to and how they handle things. Good chance, I'm betting you, they probably handed you a tablet, had the form right on their tablet, and you had to indicate your communication preferences. That is a common behavior that you expect to go through every time you go to any doctor's office. And I think we need to make it the same way in our repair shops. So again, number 4, mass blasts without express written permission are against the law. You can be exposing yourself to a lawsuit, folks. And they can be, I believe, upwards of $1,500 that you would have to pay if someone that you're texting knows the law. And it's pretty much a slam dunk case if you can't prove that they've authorized you to send a marketing message. Again, not legal advice here from me. I'm not a legal expert, but I have been around that area of the business for long enough to know the risks. So hurdle number 5, and this one is one I'm going to enjoy talking about in future episodes. We do not have our business oriented towards customer relationships. We do not have our business oriented towards customer relationships. When we improve our client relationship capabilities, we can, and shops do, prevent the occasional slow spell from becoming a real famine. So as far as slow day blasts, please consider not relying on those. It is my professional opinion that while they can work, they need to be done very tactfully and in a way that does not compromise your long-term CRM strategies. Far better, on a slow day, pick up the phone and connect with people. Begin with a simple question that shows you genuinely care about them. We're going to dive more into each of these topics, but if you have any feedback or points you'd like to add to this topic, I'd be happy to hear it. So please go ahead and email me at speakup@craigoneil.net. That's 2 L's in O'Neill. Speakup@craigoneil, ONEILL.net. And by the way, if you have any questions for any of our guests or former guests, you can send those questions to my email, speakup@craigoneil.net as well. Now, let me again thank our sponsors who make topics like this available to you, our listeners, and let me encourage you to check out the other shows on the Aftermarket Radio Network. Remember to listen up to Carm Capriato's Remarkable Results Radio, Matt Fonslow's Diagnosing the Aftermarket A through Z, Hunt Demarest's Business by the Numbers, and Brian and Kim Walker's The Auto Repair Marketing Podcast, a very relevant show if you are facing the scenarios we just discussed here. They are awesome. And of course, Chris Cotton's Weekly Blitz. Any owner, any service advisors, that is a great way to start your week, listening to Chris and his advice and wisdom. Once again, thank you to our sponsors here at Speak Up. Thank you for joining us. And as always, listen up before you speak up. Oh, and please take care with your digital messaging.
You've been listening to Speak Up, Effective Communication with Craig O'Neill on the Aftermarket Radio Network. Follow Craig on your favorite podcast listening app and on his YouTube channel. Let him know what you'd like him to speak up about. Craig is all for advancing the automotive service aftermarket.